Am I the jerk for not saying anything when someone called me spoiled and privileged?
My husband's best friend Nate got a new girlfriend, Camelia, about half a year ago. She moved to our city recently, so she doesn't really have any friends here. But she and I hung out a couple of times and started to get friendly. For context, we are all in our 20s. My husband and I both have nice jobs. We own a small flat, play tennis as a hobby. Camelia thinks it is it's a rich people's sport, and we regularly travel by finding £10 plane tickets and staying at cheap hotels for approximately 3 nights at a time. Now to the point, my husband and I were hosting a little get together. Nate, Camelia, and a few of our other friends were invited. At one point, the conversation went to topics like the current level of inflation, how the lockdown affected people and jobs, the housing market, etc. And I had something to say too, agreeing with Camelia. Camelia cut me off and said something like, ha, no offense, but you are way too much of a spoiled, privileged girl to understand things like this. You would need a tragedy or two in your life to understand the struggle. I love you, but you never experienced any hardship in your life. Ha ha ha. The room went silent, and nobody said a thing. After some awkward silence, I stood up and said, "Well, is anyone hungry? Shall we eat?" And never went back to the topic. Camelia messaged me the next day asking how I could do this to her. Nate told her afterwards that I had an abusive father and I felt ill as a teenager, spent months in a hospital. I had to have multiple life saving surgeries, and it took me a month to learn to walk again. Camelia is mad at me for not telling these very personal things to her before and making her look terrible to Nate's friends. She said that even correcting her at the party would have been better because then she could apologize me in front of everyone. But I took the chance away from her, and now she will never make friends here. Honestly, this whole thing is ridiculous, and I don't really think I am the a-hole. But it never hurts to ask. Maybe I should have gently corrected her after she said that. Am I the butthole? I don't think so. Like it's
Yeah, I'd say no. I mean, it's entirely Camelia's fault.
it seems like Camelia literally just blames everyone but herself.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't have to, like, if I was, like, talking to Shannon and I was like, yeah, inflation's been rough, gas prices are more expensive, and she went, honestly, you are way too spoiled and privileged to understand any of these things. You need a tragedy or two to understand them. That's entirely on her. I mean,
Yeah, and also here's the thing. She knows that they have nice jobs. They work for what they have.
yeah.
It's not like you're saying, "Oh yeah, I inherited money." Like they work for it. They own their place. Like they've worked for it. And then Camelia's like, "You don't know anything. You're spoiled. You have things handed to you because you work hard."
And, like, the whole thing, like, where she's like, oh, you should have told me all about these personal issues
In public, in
in
front of
public
everyone.
in front of a bunch of your husband's friends when you've known I'm your husband's best friend's girlfriend that you met 6 months ago. Why would that's so many different degrees of separation. She's not OP's best friend. She's her husband's best friend's girlfriend. I mean, and if this is how the girl always acted, why would she share anything about that? And it sounds like, Shannon, you're absolutely right. She's just blaming other people, especially at the end where she's like, "You should have corrected me. That way I had a chance to apologize in front of everyone." She doesn't care about actually apologizing. She cares about not
Looking good.
looking good. And so it's entirely not OP's fault. It's
Well,
entirely Camelia's fault.
and also, here's the thing: even if she did correct her in the time being, the girl would have been embarrassed. Like, at least she
Yeah,
found out later. Like, she would have been embarrassed on the spot, and it would have been way worse because everyone would have realized that she's an actual. Just like,
I can almost guarantee if she did correct Camellia in front of everyone, she would have been
I would
huffy
have
about
started a
that
fight, yeah.
and been like, "You could have waited till later." No, OP did the sensible thing. She directed it towards a different topic of conversation,
And
It
later on,
Yeah, Nate told her
yeah,
afterwards. Like Nate told her
because
about this
it's
stuff.
not her place. Like if something's personal, not everyone wants to be open about that,
Yeah, honestly.
especially after someone said like an offhand comment like that.
So no,
Like,
it's not Opie's fault.
yeah, it's not at all.
Am I the jerk for leaving my 21 male friends, 21 female, 20 female, at the bar when they pretended not to know me? 2 days ago, I went to the bar with my friends. I'm about to go back home for the summer, and I really wanted to hang out one last time. So I planned not to drink that night, so I drove. So we're hanging out and talking, and I need to go use the restroom. I go wait in line to use the restroom, and when I get back, they're there with three other guys. So I make my way back to the table, and one of the guys asks if he can help me. I tell him the girls that they're talking to are my friends. They look at my friends and they say they don't know me. It just becomes awkward as I don't know what to do, and one of the guys says I should leave. I figured the best thing to do was walk away. I go sit at the bar and I decide that I'm drinking since I have nothing better to do with myself. I get an apology text saying that one of my friends really likes the guy, and if I came back to them, the guys would probably leave. Eventually, after I'm a little messed up, I decided I'm going home. I get myself an Uber and go home and go to sleep. I wake up in the morning to a bunch of texts from them. They asked where I went, if I'm left, wanted me to come back, saying they couldn't get the guys to leave, and then they couldn't get home right without a ride from me. Eventually, they said they ordered an Uber, but they're angry at me. I called them and they said it was a jerk move to leave like that. They said that you don't just leave your girlfriends with a bunch of random guys. I said that they left me for said random guys first. We got into an argument and now they're not talking to me. Am I the jerk?
So, the only thing I see that this person did wrong is they didn't text them. Because if they're asking like, "Oh, did you leave?" that could be genuine concern. But given the fact that the other group is also drunk, I'm gonna say there's not as much concern. It's more concern for themselves and them having to make effort. Two, if my friends did it, I wouldn't even like stayed. I would have just left and like immediately said, "Have fun getting home then." If you don't know me, I don't know you. I don't need to stay around for a ride.
Not even, I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, not even that. I mean, it's not like he was, like, consciously ignoring them. Like, he was asleep. Like, he just
Yeah.
went to bed. I'm going to say not to jerk.
No, not one bit. The only thing that like it's not a jerk or anything. It's just text someone, let them know you're safe.
but,
But
like,
even then, he did not obligate it because he doesn't have to text this group.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like, what? They just wanted someone to just, like, I don't know, be their bodyguard
No,
instead of.
they wanted a free Uber and they wanted to be able to like flirt and like screw around without any consequences.
Yeah.
But like by pushing him away, he wanted to spend that time with his friends. If they don't want to spend time with him, there's no point in them staying.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, he just wants to see his friends before he heads home for the summer, and they're more concerned about flirting with some random guys who showed up.
Yeah,
And
that's a total jerk move. And then like the whole call where they're like, "Oh, it's your fault." It's like, no.
I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have this fella just sitting. What's he supposed to do? He drove there, so he's not going to drink. He was probably the designated driver because they kept getting a hold of him. What's he supposed to do? Just sit at the bar and, like, I don't know, just watch you talk to just other guys? That'd be boring. It'd be boring if, like, if I was in a bar and two of my other friends were chatting up two girls and I just had to sit there and watch them. That'd be super boring. I don't drink. I'm not going to drink, but, like, honestly, just sitting there and watching, like, across the bar, four people, in this case five people, talking to each other would be super boring and super creepy. I'd definitely, like Shannon said, I'd just go home. I'd be like, okay, well, bye. Like, have these guys give you a ride home. Call an Uber like you did. I don't understand why they're mad at him. Well, I do understand. It's because they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted a free ride, but they also wanted to, act like they didn't know him. And so, definitely not the jerk in this situation. Am I the jerk for suggesting my friend's fiance not come on vacation after she said I make her uncomfortable?
I used to date my friend before he met his fiance. I assumed he would have told his fiance at some point, but he didn't. She found out from his family during a dinner I went to, too. Now she's telling everyone I make her uncomfortable. She wants me to stay away from her and her fiance. The the problem is that I'm very close to his family since they're like a second family to me. Usually in the summer, I go on vacation with my friend, his sisters, my siblings, and some of their cousins and spouses. The trip for this year has already been booked, but she wants me not to go out of respect for her and her relationship. She came to me directly to tell me that I make her uncomfortable and that she didn't want to go on their vacation. I told her if I made her so uncomfortable, she could just not go since I was going to go. This turned into an argument where she accused me of being after a free vacation and told me I couldn't stay in their family vacation home and I would need to get a hotel room if I insisted on going. I told her I wasn't up to it. I told her it wasn't up to her and we could ask her future father-in-law if I could stay there or not. Am I the butthole? So, I think this is hilarious because this lady's insecure. We don't know how long they've been dating, but like she's so insecure and like so worried about like this other chick. Like she probably sees her as competition and thinks that she's like in some way better for him. So now she's like really panicking because she sees.
Part of me wonders. Part of me wonders. Like this OP says that she's so close to his family that they're like a second family to her, even though they don't date anymore. Like they're just friends. They don't date anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. Maybe she's overcompensating by that because she does feel threatened. Maybe you're right about that. Where
Like yeah, because like it's like I've seen examples of it, but like say we broke up. Well, I mean, I'll give an example. Like, where like your past girlfriends were very like intimidated, so
yeah,
they went out of their way to like try to do stuff in our relationship, and it's just like, here's the thing:
it,
if you're that uncomfortable, you need to work on you
yeah.
because if you can't trust him, like if you're that worried and
Why marry him if you can't trust him?
yeah, like if you don't trust him to be around this chick that has been like in their family, even says they're like family, so it's like her brother,
Yeah,
then like yeah, things could happen. Like, but
it could happen with
she
anyone. I mean, what it says. I go on vacation with my friend, his sisters, my siblings, and some of their cousins and spouses.
yeah,
It's
so
not
it's
like
like
it's
a
just.
mix of families. It's not even like solely just her going on their family vacation.
It's not like she's just like. It's not like she's plus wanting like their family vacation.
Yeah,
It's like her family.
it's integrated family. It's two families that are like one.
It does make me wonder though. Why aren't her ex's fiance's like family? I'm just from what I'm reading. I don't know. Like her family's not going on it. OP's family like goes on vacation with them. Like it's not like just an OP thing. It's like their families are like intermingled, and I can understand that probably could be intimidating, but like it all comes down to trust. If she doesn't trust her husband,
Future husband.
yeah,
But also, here's my thing. I don't know. Like, I love you dearly if we were, like, engaged or something. But if you try to tell me who could stay at, like, my house, I think we would have a problem. So, like, she's just causing herself problems by going, oh, you can't go. If you go, you can't stay here. And it's like, that's not your say in the matter. And that's just going to cause problems. That's really going to cause problems.
yeah, it's gonna cause that strife. So I'm gonna say not to jerk.
I feel like this guy is going to break up with this lady soon. Or maybe they get by it. Maybe they're a good couple. But it could be that they didn't make it.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see if there's any update. So.